After describing the water plashing through the hills, the winds, the silver deer through the groves, the flower beds, he says, these things are only images to thy earth. That is, she is not living on the surface, but the truest truth of that which in thee sleeps, for such is thy spirit, a sister of the gods. There is a truth which is asleep in thee. He addresses the princess, and that spirit is the sister of the gods. It is a divine being. Thy earthly body, lovely to the eyes, and thou art kin in joy to heaven's sons. In thy pure joy, thou art akin to the sons of heaven, to the gods. Though thy earthly body is lovely to physical eyes, O thou who hast come to this great perilous world, now only seen through the splendor of thy dreams, this world is a great perilous world of danger, world of great risk. But to thee, who livest in the splendor of thy dreams, the peril of the world is not apparent. That is what he hints. Now only seen through the splendor of thy dreams, where hardly love and beauty can live safe in this perilous world. Neither love nor beauty can live safely. Thyself a being dangerously great, thou art dangerously great. That is, thou art meant for great adventures. Take great risks. A soul alone in a golden house of thought has lived walled in by the safety of thy dreams. All along thou hast lived in the protective walls of thy dreams. Thou hast not known the bare, naked reality of life. On heights of happiness, living doom asleep on the lower levels of earth, who hunts unseen the unconscious lives of men. It is doom who hunts the unconscious lives of men. Now here there is a whole philosophy here, that it is only when men live unconsciously, when men are not conscious, fully conscious, but are unaware of their existence, but live so much on the surface that they open themselves to this approach of doom. On heights of happiness, living doom asleep, who hunts unseen the unconscious lives of men. We never know that the doom is approaching till it stands before us. That is why he says, hunts unseen. Death is always hunting for those who are living unconsciously. If thy heart could live locked in the ideal's gold, as high, as happy might thy waking be. He says, if only Thy heart could always live in the golden construction of thy ideal. As high as that, well, even when thou wakest, it would be equally happy, provided you always live locked in the ideal's gold. But then he adds a proviso: if for all time doom could be left to sleep, if we can trust doom to be always asleep, then thou art safe on thy heights. He spoke, but held knowledge back from words. It is the knowledge that he had of the forthcoming doom. He was pressing back, he was holding back consciously. And he spoke in words which did not make what he knew explicit. As a cloud plays with lightning's vivid laugh, but holds back the thunder in its heart, a beautiful simile, he says. There is a cloud and there is a lightning. Now when the lightning, it looks very beautiful to us. It looks as if this cloud is laughing, but it holds back the thunder in its heart. After a while, we hear the thunder and quake. Only he let bright images escape. Narad, let bright images, hints escape, but not the whole bare reality. His speech like glimmering music veiled his thoughts. His thoughts were kept behind the curtain as if what he spoke was a glimmering music. Pitiful to mortals, only to them it spoke. He was full of pity to mortals, mortal beings, and accordingly his speech spoke only to the mortals as much as they can bear. As a wind flatters the bright summer air of living beauty and of present bliss. That is, he kept the present tempo, the present tempo, but did not disturb. He hid in his all-knowing mind the rest. He kept it hidden. To those who hearkened to his celestial voice, Narads, the veil heaven's pity throws on future pain. The immortal sanction seemed of endless joy. Now for the whole assembly who were hearing, enraptured, his celestial heavenly voice, it looked as if the heaven has sanctioned, the immortals, the gods have sanctioned endless joy for Savitri, because he has spoken how she lives high, how she lives in the golden ideal. But he says it looked like that because the veil heaven's pity throws on future pain. Pain is, if the pain is to come tomorrow, in the future, it is withheld from us, and that is because of the pity, compassion that heaven has for us. If before the pain arrives, we were to know it is going to arrive, there will be added pain. That pain can't be helped, but from now on we will be worrying about it. So, heaven's pity throws a veil on future pain. But Ashwapati answered to this seer. The father of the princess, the king, has noted it. He answers, His listening mind had marked the dubious close. Dubious close, the doubtful ending, because the ending was, if for all time doom could be left to sleep. There he had thrown a hint. He had heard that, noted that. His listening mind had marked the dubious close. An ominous shadow felt behind the words. Ashwapati becomes aware that there is an ominous shadow looming behind the words. But he has a dignity of his own. He is a yogi. He is not perturbed as a lesser mortal would be. So he says, but calm like one who ever sits facing fate. He says, let fate come. He is not perturbed, disturbed, but calm. There is a poem, a sonnet, Sri Aurobindo's sonnet, written in 1938, where he describes how he is sitting unmindful of what is happening, facing the fate. You might look it up. I don't remember the title. It was somewhere before the fracture. He knew something was to happen. But calm like one who ever sits facing fate, here mid the dangerous contours of earth's life, dangerous curves of life, earth's life, there is fate which we encounter. He answered, covert thought with guarded speech. If Narad's thought was covered, his speech was guarded. Ashwapati answers with carefully chosen words. He does not want to alarm everybody who has assembled in the court. O deathless sage, who knowest all things here, if I could read by the ray of my own wish, he says, if I permit my own cherished wish to throw a ray of light through the carved shield of symbol images which thou hast thrown before thy heavenly mind, if I allow my own wish to interpret the carved shield, means not allowing the truth to come out, of images, I might see the steps of a young godlike fire, his daughter. I might see the steps of a young godlike life, happily beginning, luminous eyed on earth. I can see a young godlike life, that is my daughter, beginning luminous eyed, her life on earth, between the unknowable and the unseen, born on the borders of two wonder worlds. Unknowable, we do not know what is going to happen tomorrow. This is unknowable. Unseen, what is there? So, born on the borders of the two wonder worlds, the inconscient and the superconscient, it flames out symbols of the infinite, her life, and lives in a great light of inner suns. That is, I understand that she is accustomed to live in the light of an inner sun, not in the external physical sun. For it has read and broken the hidden seals. Within living an inner life, She has broken the hidden seals. It has drunk of the immortal wells of joy. It has looked across the jewel bars of heaven. It has entered the aspiring secrecy. It sees beyond terrestrial common things and communes with the powers that build the worlds. Her being is accustomed to unravel the secrets of earth and converse and commune with the gods till through the shining gates and mystic streets of the city of the lapis lazuli and the pearl, that is the heavenly cities, proud deeds step forth their rank and march of the gods. That is what she is seeing. In her inner life, she is exposed to the sight of the march and the rank of gods, marching through the shining streets, shining gates and mystic streets of the city of God. Although, now here is an observation of the poet, although in pauses of our human lives, earth keeps for man some short and perfect hours. That is, in our humdrum lives, there are certain intervals, certain pauses where earth lets man enjoy some perfect hours, though they may be brief, though they may be short, when the inconscient tread of time can seem the eternal moment which the deathless live, when even the unconscious footstep of time, as it appears to us, gets translated into an eternal moment. That is, there are moments when we have glimpses of eternity. The eternal moment which the deathless live, yet rare that touch upon the mortal's world. The eternal moment which is natural to the gods, but very rare in the lives of human beings. But still, earth at times lets us have a glimpse of that eternal moment. Still, he says, hardly a soul and a body here are born in the fierce, difficult movement of the stars, whose life can keep the paradisal note. Hardly a soul or a body here, hardly a person is born who can keep that note, celestial note of paradise alive here in the fierce, difficult movement of the stars. Its rhythm repeat the many-toned melody, whose life can repeat in its rhythm the multiple melody of the celestial music, tirelessly throbbing through the rapturous air, caught in the song that sways the apsara's limbs. Now that melody, it sways the limbs of the apsaras, the celestial dancers, when she floats gleaming like a cloud of light. When the apsara floats in air like a cloud of light, her limbs swing to the rhythm of the high-toned melodies. A wave of joy on heaven's moonstone floor. Heaven, the floor of heaven, is paved with the moon. That is why there is a wave of joy brought by the dance of the apsaras. Behold this image cast by light and love. Now this is the imagery of heaven, a stanza of the order of the gods, perfectly rhymed, a pillared ripple of gold. He looks at his daughter. After describing that, Ashwapati looks at his daughter and says, behold, this image cast by light and love, a stanza of the ardor of the gods, perfectly rhymed, a pillared ripple of gold. Naturally, to the father's eyes, she looks that, her body like a brimmed pitcher of delight. Her body is filled with delight to the brim, shaped in a splendor of gold-colored bronze, bronze of gold color, that's strong, denotes strength, as if to seize earth's truth of hidden bliss. There she is standing, dream-made, illumined mirrors are her eyes. Her eyes are dreaming, but they are shining mirrors, draped subtly in a slumberous fringe of jet. That is, the eyes, though they are illumined mirrors, they are slightly covered in a sleepy fringe of jet, means a sleepy wave, a rapid wave of sleepiness covers her eyes, retaining heaven's reflections in their depths. Apparently, they are a bit sleepy, but within they retain the reflections of heaven. Even as her body, such is she within. As splendid her body is, as luminous her appearance is, within also she is that. Heaven's lustrous mornings gloriously recur in her life, like drops of fire upon a silver page. In her young spirit, yet untouched with tears. Savitri is a young spirit. She has not known tears, and that is why she is full of this celestial beauty and music and rhythm. All beautiful things eternal seem and new to virgin wonder in her crystal soul. In her pure white soul, her virgin wonder, look of wonder, facing the world. Everything looks eternal, everything looks beautiful, everything looks ever fresh. The unchanging blue reveals its spacious thought. The sky reveals the thought behind it. Marvelous the moon floats on through wandering skies. To her sight, the moon floats marvelously through the skies which are wandering at the moon. Earth's flowers spring up and laugh at time and death. When she beholds the flowers, she feels they are laughing at time and death. As long as they last, they feel they are eternal. They are not bothered about either time or death. The charmed mutations of the enchanter life race like bright children past the smiling hours. The charmed mutations of the enchanter life, mutations, vicissitudes of life, life which holds us in enchantment. They rush like in her eyes, like bright children past the smiling hours. If but this joy of life could last, the king father also now begins to wonder and says, if but this joy of life could last, nor pain throw its bronze note into her rhythmed days, her life is till now full of rhythm. If in her rhythm days, if only pain does not throw its bronze hard note, behold a singer with a prescient gaze, he addresses Narad, look at her, you who art a singer with a gaze that looks ahead of time. Behold a singer with the prescient gaze, and let thy blessing chant that this fair child shall pour the nectar of a sorrowless life around her from her lucid heart of love. Bless her. Let that blessing chant that this fair child of mine shall pour out the nectar of a sorrowless life, a life not broken into the tired breast of earth. Let my child heal with her innate bliss the tired breast of earth, and cast like a happy snare felicity. Cast felicity around like a happy net, as grows the great and the golden bounteous tree, flowering by Alaknanda's murmuring waves through that famous river in Himalayas. Along the banks of that river, as the great and golden, bounteous, magnificent tree grows, where with the enamored speed the waters run in that stream, lisping and babbling to the splendor of the morn, the beauty of the morn. These waters look at the splendor of the morn and lisp, speak indistinctly, babble like children, infants, and cling with lyric laughter round the knees of heaven's daughters dripping magic rain. Heaven's daughters, we do not see them, but the streams, the waters see them. And they cling with lyric, musical laughter round the knees of these daughters of heaven who are dripping magic rain, pearl bright, from moon gold limbs and cloudy hair. This is the description of the daughters of heaven. So are her dawns like that. So are her dawns like jeweled leaves of light. So casts she her felicity on men. Just like that, Savitri's dawns are jeweled leaves of light, and she casts her felicity on men around, on human beings around. A flame of radiant happiness she was born, and surely will that flame set earth alight. He is trying to convince himself. He hopes. A flame of radiant happiness she was born, and surely will that flame set earth alight. Doom surely will see her pass and say no word. He says, doom may come, but it won't say, it won't utter any word. But then he says, he himself feels, and then he says, but too often here the careless mother leaves her chosen in the envious hands of fate. Nature. Careless mother is nature. Very often she leaves her chosen children in the envious hands of fate. Fate is jealous, envious of nature and of the happiness of these children, and it is waiting. But the careless mother, that is nature, too often leaves. So after saying that the doom will pass and saying no word, he recovers and he says, but too often here the careless mother leaves her chosen in the envious hands of fate. And when that happens, when she leaves and the envious hands of fate grasp, the harp of God falls mute. The harp of God, which emanates celestial music, falls mute, dumb. Its call to bliss, discouraged, fails mid earth's unhappy sounds. Earth begins to emit unhappy sounds, and the harp of God which calls to bliss gets discouraged and it fails. The strings of the siren ecstasy cry not here. Ecstasy is a siren, an angel. But that string do not cry or sooner silence in the human heart. Ecstasy fails to beat. The strings of ecstasy fail to sound in the human heart. But then he says, of sorrow's songs we have enough. Why should we speak of it? Of sorrow's songs we have enough. Bid once her glad and griefless days ring heaven here. He says, say something by which you sanction. Bid once her glad and griefless days ring heaven here. Call heaven here. Then again he doubts. Again he asks, oh, must fire always test the great of soul? Those who are great by birth, great in their soul, do they have to be tested? Or must fire always test the great of soul? That means, do their lives have to be always dangerous? Along the dreadful causeway of the gods, the path of the gods, there are causeways, the small bridges with the valleys on both sides, pits. Or must fire always test the great of soul along the dreadful causeway of the gods, armored with love and faith and sacred joy, a traveller to the eternal's house, once let unwounded pass a mortal life. So Ashwapati says, at least once let this traveller to the eternal's house, who is walking on the dreadful causeway of the gods, armored with love and faith and sacred joy, not gross sensual joy, let her pass unwounded a mortal life. So he tells Narad, sanction that, say that. But Narad answered not. Silent he sat, knowing that words are vain and faith is Lord. Narad doesn't speak because he knows that words are useless. And in such a situation, fate is supreme. Words are of no use. He looked into the unseen with seeing eyes, probing, discovering eyes. He looked into the unseen fate, unseen destiny, unseen future. Then, dallying with the mortal's ignorance, playing, trying to fool the ignorance of the mortals, like one who knows not, as if he does not know. Questioning, he cried. In a sort of question, he spoke. We'll take it up next time. He is asking as if he does not know.